Episode 150. Nael deus Darnus is too damn tough, and Komoi is fresh out of primals to absorb pretend power off of. It's at this time that I've decided she's going to heed the words of the wandering minstrel from the last episode. Something along the lines of weaving an epic of her own endeavors or something, which she'll take to mean she needs to improve herself rather than absorbing powers from outside sources. By which I mean she's going to learn how to dance. I've decided to use some of the time in this episode just to pick up some of those dancing quests, or those quests that you get dancing emotes off of just around the Reborn areas. Currently, Komoi considers this to be dancing, which is truly embarrassing, I know. She has the bee's knees from the gold saucer, but that's not exactly the pinnacle of dancing, is it? So I think she needs to expand her repertoire. How this is related to fighting Nael, I'm not exactly sure. I just use the failures against the binding coils and whatever as opportunities to do some other things on my checklist. The extreme trials were easy enough to pretend that they were related to powering up for Nael. This, I don't know. I guess dancing is sort of like prayer. And prayer is, well, dancing is also used in prayer sometimes. And prayer is something that you need, like one component for summoning or whatever, alongside the Aether of the Primal or crystals or something like that. So I guess we can just say learning to dance helps Komoi strengthen up her own summons, or something. It's a stretch, obviously. I'm just doing this because I want the emotes. I make no secret about my disinclination toward Gridanians, as you may know, but I just saw a rare sight that I would be remiss not to share with a fellow adventurer. Just over yonder in the Acorn Orchard, I saw a comely maiden, new to these benighted parts, I'd wager, dancing with a gaggle of younglings. 'Twas a dance I'd not seen before, and I've seen my fair share. Do they perhaps ready themselves for some fresh rite? After so much doom and gloom, I shouldn't mind a day of merrymaking. Just the thought excites me. Would you see what it's all about? We're still technically on the clock for Minfilia. I don't think she approved our vacation hours quite yet. But we'll just put this down as a business expense or something. After we kill Bahamut, we'll get all the vacation hours in the world, I'm sure. So I actually previously came here like very early on, in one of my earlier episodes, taking on one of the side quests that one of these kids gave, thinking it gave me the dancing emote. But obviously I mistook it for this quest here, which takes place in the same location, but you pick it up actually over by the airship landing. A day of merrymaking? Is that all you adventurers think about? Well, this is for important god-killing business, but I'm not sure how I can explain that to you. I'm here to teach, my dear lady. From me, these younglings are to learn a most sacred, meaningful, and uniquely uplifting dance. Now I realize full well that tradition may not hold much allure for the young, but I didn't think they would up and run away. This manner of disobedience is unprecedented. It's all the more surprising considering that they obey the Timber Master without demur. What I wouldn't give to know his secrets, but I must wait here for my unruly charges. I wonder though, might you ask the man how he tamed them? Another green adventurer come to play with the sauce? Apparently not. Speak your mind, child. Child? He doesn't just say that because you're a Lollifel or something, right? I assume not. He's probably just a pretty old guy, right? That's all. So the younglings will not heed their dancing master, and I am to provide the solution. Master Yedis seems able enough, but having no generosity towards herself, she has none for her charges. Give the younglings these on her behalf, and bid them return to their lesson. Toys? Oh, that's why. Was wondering why they'd listen to Master Beaton, but... Guildmaster Beaton, that is. Is it like a coincidence that his name is Guildmaster Beaton? I mean, just Beaton, but he's also Guildmaster. I'm pretty sure they didn't just make some kind of off-color joke in naming him. I ran off because it's boring. All Mistress Yedis says is how we're doing it wrong. A wooden toy lovingly crafted by Timber Master Beaton. I'm pretty sure that's just a coincidence, right? No, he is the woodworker, so... yeah, that must have been on purpose. Hey, that's one of Master Beaton's. If this is supposed to be a bribe, then you've got yourself a deal, adventuring lady. But I don't want to be a dancer. Why can't we just play? I mean, I guess we could dance for fun, but I don't think Mistress Yedis knows how. She's so uptight. Oh. Is this one of Master Beaton's toys? Does this mean there's more if I go back to class? I'm on my way. We got ourselves an event going on. Komori's still on the job, though. Maybe if she wraps up her job, she can have fun with everyone else. Scoop with both hands, then look left, up, right, down. Or is it up, down, left, right? I wish you would let me take notes. What are you using the Konami code for? Oh. Why, this is made of maple. It's unmistakable. Huh, Master Beaton would tell you the grain of it almost flows like syrup. Someday I'll be a timber master like him. He wants me to go back to Mistress Yedis' class, doesn't he? He always tells us that if you can true a piece of wood, there's no excuse for not truing yourself. Alright, I'm going. What does it mean to true a piece of wood? Is that like the finishing or whatever? Lacquer or something? I don't know anything about woodworking. I'm a level 0 woodworker, in-game and real life. Well, I don't know what sorcery you worked, but the younglings are back. I do believe we've reached an accommodation. 'Twould seem I was stricter than I imagined, and loosening up a bit has made a great difference. This dance is for the Feast of the Harvest, to give thanks to Novica and the elementals. There must be no aggression in this dance, lest the matron be angered. It's very, very important. Is it a problem if we're using this dance to try to kill a guy? I do realize I haven't made the best first impression. having you fetch my students for me. To make it up to you, will you let me show you the dance? Think of it as a kind of peace offering. Well, it's certainly a harvest dance. Are the powers of the elementals flowing through you, Komoi? What are you looking at, Beaton? Why, you are a born dancer, dear lady. And so say we, and so say we. Oh, it's him. Comes a sailor from the sea, to show the laddies how it's done, and so say we, and so say we. Swing his axe and says remember, shiver, shiver me timbers, and so say we, and so say we. I'm not really sure the meter of that rhyme. Oh gods no! Master Beaton, what have you done? You brought a weapon to the sacred dance. The matron forgive us, we are surely doomed. Master Beaton, you scared her off. We were having fun. Timber Master Beaton, wasn't that a sailor's song? How do you know it? Never mind how I know. More to the point, what could have troubled Master Yetta so? You did. She said you're supposed to be peaceful, or the elementals will be upset. And you know how uptight she gets. The course of relationships never does run smooth, child. You will all discover this in time. I guess Komori isn't the only one that needed dancing lessons. You'll get there, Beaton. We've only just begun our journey ourselves. He's a sailor, huh? We'll use that as our cue to go to our next location, Nimsa. There's one in each city-state. All acceptable at level 14, if you know where to look. Each of the dances are pretty much on par with what we just saw. Not exactly the pinnacle of dancing, but it's at least expanding your repertoire, which is the goal. I could teleport right over there. But since we're just going between the city-states, I might as well ride the airship. Waste some time watching the cutscene flying around on that thing. Why not? Just because I'm learning how to dance doesn't mean I'm going to go ahead and pick up the dancer job for Komori. I actually have dancer on my main character, so I pretty much want to avoid any classes that I did on my main character so I can experience new things. Although dancer is kind of my main, on my main character. And I think what we're looking for is over here. Yeah. They're all level 14, these quests, for whatever reason. Whereas surrounding quests are like level... Well, that's a bad example. Level 1, level 1, level 1, etc. Sometimes level 3. These ones level 14. Oh my, oh dear. My cask of ale is gone. and it had to be the one ordered by someone who doesn't brook tardiness. I would bring the matter to the Maelstrom, or perhaps seek help from the Yellow Jackets, but my client would likely frown on involving anyone official. An adventurer such as yourself, though, would be capable of doing a little unofficial investigating. Will you find the stolen ale for me? It was right outside of Fisherman's Bottom. Someone surely saw something. What's that? You would have the client's name? Oh, none of that. Discretion creates opportunities. Now, do go to Fisherman's Bottom. Make your inquiries before this cold of mine grows worse. The bloody executioners. I feel no need to pronounce things like sighs or coughs in the people's dialogue, just because it would be annoying for me to actually read out loud. After a cask? Well, can't rightly say if it's your cask, but there was a big fella come by recently carrying one. He asked me if I had smoked Mackies that would go down nice with ale. Tain't the only thing I know neither. The last war black, and you know what that means. The bloody executioners. I already said more than I should. If it's some business with the bloody executioners, best leave it alone. Small-boned? I guess that's a better term than just small? Sure. Did I see someone walk off with a cask of ale? Why sure, it was during the afternoon offloading. Oh, not sailor, cellar. Fella didn't look like a thief, though. Hoisted the cask and walked right on over to the Acilia. I have to admit, the whole thing looked above board, all out in the open. The fellow wasn't acting like any kind of thief I've seen. Looking for the Dozon's cask of ale, eh? Aye, I'll help you. The Dozon ain't a bad sort for a swiven trader. There was a toper, come asking after the cask. Wanted to know if it was ale, the poxy fool. Reeked of rum and puke, that one. Not no kind of working man, and you know what that means around these parts. Just sounds like the right guy picked up his own package or something. I think I've been here once before on camera. Just a fun little pirate ship that you can walk around in. One of the only ones that you can kind of walk around in. There are some you can go on top of, just out in the world, flying around. There's the only one you can go inside of. What are you looking at? This is a dance duel. A dance duel. Much more important than anything you got. Much more. I don't know. Killing a god, or something like a god, seems pretty important. But he wouldn't know that. He may be able to scamper up to the rigging crew. What is this sentence? You may be able to scamper up the rigging to the crow's nest, but can you get down? Not for a siren's teat, you great clodhopper. Beggin' pardon, Captain, but there ain't no Mikote alive heavier on her feet than a great Galutin Rogadin such as yourself. Well said, Captain, and well retorted, you bloody sun-seeker. Or was you a moonkeeper? What other lands they got there? Bah, who even cares, am I right? Who are you, anyway? There was a whole passel of you before, and now there's only one. That's a miser's trick, it is. No, that's the ale. Nope. Nothing worse than a miser. This Horson, what was a Admiral? What was his name? He didn't like no drinking nor dancing. Bad for corals. Corals? That can't be right. Corals. Huh. Course. You're right there, lassie. Should never doubt myself. Anyways, if magical, I'll call it magical pinch fist. Passed decrees like they was farts. He decreed no dancing with a hand's reach of spirits. Or within a hand's reach of spirits. But no madrigal smarter than a sailing man. We just stopped reaching with our hands altogether. Huh. We invented step dancing. That showed magical pinch fist and his quarrels. I think he means the word quarrels? I have no idea what he's talking about. Haha, aye, that's right, lassie. Gets me all fired up too. Makes you think like, oh, I know. You want to dance. All this time, I just thought you was being churlish, but... No, I insist. Dance first, talk later. That's the way of it. I think that's a step above a harvest dance. Getting better, Komoy. Why, you cagey sea folks, dancing like sailing folk you do. Could swear there was 3 of you, or was it just... Never mind. You're practically a sister now. You ask me anything. Payment. A cask of deus on sale. Carried it off from Fisherman's Bottom, my very own self I did. That's the matter of fact, we'd already drunk all we had aboard. Of course the Dozon's getting paid for it. Someday. Don't make a difference if he frets a night or two, eh? Corals. Why, you reprobate horse son. That's the tale of the cask you lugged in? Blackguard, you dare call yourself a bloody executioner, all hugger-mugger about what belongs to who? The Dozon has a cause to not mule about the colors we wear, and you play him for a bloody fool? I'm sorry, Captain. Wasn't thinking it through. Got to fix that, I do. It's what they call a coral failing. Okay, maybe not the word quarrel. Not sure what he's talking about with coral. Adventurer, I beg pardon for my man. I swear Limlane mistook him for an oyster, and gave him grit for brains when she made him. Since you're already here, how about you square our account with the Dozon? Take this payment to him. We'd be much obliged. You dance with us and all, so I'm trusting the gale won't inspire any moral failings in you. That's some long keel on the Astalesia, if you take my meaning. I guess everyone's done dancing. There's nothing more to learn here. Can we jump off from here? Like from here? We can, good. There's ground beneath here, so you're allowed to jump up over there. But since there's no ground here, you can't jump up on the side of, well, any of the other sides. It's always good to pay attention to the map like that. There you are, and not a moment too soon. Did you find my ale? Well, that's the price. I was to receive. That's the price I was to receive. Where did you get it? Oh, from the bloody, from the clients themselves. Yes, I see. There's always some blustery young fellow like that. Hasn't earned his swallows or stars yet, I'll wager. Cards, you say? Captain Monskate is kind to say so. I'm sure. But I hail from Uldar. We trade with anyone if they've got guild to pay. Pirates, princes, they're all the same to me. And if I know these particular pirates, and I do, they'll be wanting another cask soon to drink away these little fracas. Fracas? Many thanks, adventurer. From Moldar, huh? How convenient. We'll use that as a cue for our next destination, in our quest for the dance. You actually get the actual dancer job here in Limsa. And at my current level, or the levels that I have on my highest level class, I could unlock it if I wanted to. But again, dancing is purely for enjoyment here. Well, I guess I said I'm using it to power up summoning to kill a god. Akomoi's not that serious about dancing. Not enough to pick up a new class for it. Luckily, this one is just right next to the airship landing. Actually, the one in Gridania also right next to the airship landing. You there? Yes, darling, you. They say you're the lass with the brass. Well, they call me that too, but for a different reason. Name's Pamolmin, and I earn my keep as a dancing girl in these markets. A true professional, unlike the others. This is going to be our final trial to see if Komoi learns how to dance. She's going to pass. You get the emote no matter what. It's just fun to pretend. Ah, it's a living, and a good one. But it's not exactly what I set out to be when I bid farewell to the mudflats. I know. Isn't that the way of the tail girls? Still, I would like to be one of those dancers Dexter. Dancers Dexter? You know, the sort they engage for the grand balls. To be a dancer of craft. No, not mere wiles. And keep company in high society. Of course, I'd have to learn a proper sort of dancing. Less shimmy, more stately. And that's where you come in, darling. Because I've got a quarry for you to track down. They say a dancing master named Gilino is in town. All the highborn ladies are aflutter, wanting to take lessons with him. He's the best, that's the word. This is my chance to be something finer than Minnie the Minx. Go to the Steps of Dal, and ask around about him, won't you? I see, Pamolmin becomes Minnie. I guess I did think it was kind of hard to pronounce Pamolmin. Not that hard, though. Over here? Okay. Well, I thought we'd be getting dancing lessons from the dancer lady, but I guess we're going a step above and getting lessons from a master of the craft. Master Gilino? Oh, it's lovely what he teaches. But straight is the gate, my good lady. He is very choosy about whom he teaches. You must dance for him and show him some innate quality. Why, he wouldn't even accept Master Gegarutu's diamond-crusted crumpet. And she was quite the danseuse already. Okay, first of all, is crumpet a word? And is danseuse a word? Rather a martinet, Master Gilino. Okay, I think martinet is a word. It might be martinet. He deigned to teach my milk sister, and it took her nigh on 2 years to master a single step. I wonder how you'd fare. Well, we learned how to dance pretty much just today, so we'll see. Oh, of course, I know where Master Gilino is. Don't you see those roses on my cheeks? And the ever so slight droop in my supple carriage? What? I've just come from practice. I'm going to ignore your carriage. You can stop wondering who the belle of the ball is to be next moon. With what Master Gilino taught me, I've no doubt that I'll dazzle the masses. Where can you find him? Well, I oughtn't say, but... oh, why not? You should find him on the hustings strip. He said he was headed to the airship landing. We just came from there. If you hurry, you'll probably catch Master Gilino on the hustings strip. He had some business or other at the airship landing. These stairs, right behind me. Are you another one of Master Gilino's camp followers? So cute. You know he's from Gorthis, don't you? Travels the world teaching the art of the dance. They say he was the youngest dancing master ever to leap the lance. That he had a large estate, a fine stable, and a coat of crowned sable. Why anyone would leave all that is beyond me. When I think about that, it gives me the shivers, you know? If he weren't leaving Ul'dah today, I'd consider permitting him the pleasure of my person. Oh, don't look so shocked. Mayhap when he returns. I suppose I must work on my dancing until he returns. You don't think he'd insist on an audition for arts other than dancing, do you? That would be tedious. I'm not going to muse on what kind of arts you're talking about. So here he is, the dance master. Think you can impress him, Komoy? Master Gilino, I am he. That you are an adventurer is apparent. But what business brings an adventurer to a dancing master, I wonder? Tut, you will not answer when no question has been asked. It is the feet that must persuade, not the tongue. Now dance for me. Damn, Komoy. You're gonna have to show him one of your worst dances. Because they don't accept other dances, do they? Plague me not if you have no dance to show me. I must leave this place ere long. Well, hopefully all of those other dances that you've been taught somehow improved this dance as well. It's faded to black here. There we go. Maybe she's more sprightly than she was before. It's just the same dance, but we can pretend. The vessel is rude, but the wine within may yet be refined. Unfortunately, there is much call on my time, and I am bound for another land. I will make a dancer of you when next I return to the city. There you are. Heard anything good? Hope you're not wasting time with that looker there. He's the dance master. Oh, Master Gilino. I am Pamolmin the danseuse, and I would speak with you. It is my greatest desire to become a dancer dexter and perform at a grand ball. Please, my lord, won't you teach me? So, it is not the adventurer who wishes to tread the parquet, but this stammering maiden. If she's stammering, it's because I'm reading it wrong, or something. Child, I sift people to find dancers. Do you understand? Then let us see whether you can master these steps. That is a complicated dance. Probably more complicated than anything we've seen so far. That's how they do it in high society, huh? I can be the last with class. Just watch. A true dancer, she picked it up in an instant. Hideous, grotesque. Your dancing stands alongside the calamity in its horror. Really? It was the same dance. They literally can't have two different animations. Well, I mean, they could, but the developers didn't deign to give her a bad dancing animation. You're just rude, that's all. Well, those words might cow your highborn ladies, Master Gillino, but where I come from, we take our lumps and keep on twirling. Now what exactly didn't you like? Child, you rely overmuch on appearances. You go from pose to pose, pleasing to pleasing. That is not dance, but crude fascination. Adventurer, look sharp and take your turn on the floor. She's doing it. She's really doing it. I can't take my eyes off you. I mean, you're not exactly good. You'd be picking rotten orange piss out of your eyebrows if you did that at the market, but... It's a story, isn't it? A dance is a story. And I have nothing to say. Because I haven't lived. Just made a living. How deep? I didn't remember these quests got that deep. Aye, child. Ale-glazed eyes are easy to please, and you have squandered these years striking your poses, when you could have learned a craft. Still, you have courage, I'll warrant that. I weary of teaching so many who may have lived, but in ways too alike. I wonder if you have courage enough. Do you dare start anew, to be a dancing girl no longer, to learn a true craft? I dare. I will learn the craft of adventuring. Do you adventure for fun or gain? Do you have to be very good with weapons? Those moves you make with your arms, is that some fighty thing? I want what you've got, darling. The way to the grand ball is through quests and dungeons. I'll learn to slug, and I'll learn to dance. Thank you, milady, thank you. I'm off to the Adventurers Guild. You've taught me so much, and I'll never forget the dance you showed me. Did she choose a mere adventurer over me? Master among masters? My airship departs this strange city soon. Dance your rude yet puissant dance, adventurer. Mayhap you will affect more aspirants as you did per moment. And mayhap I shall hang up my dancing shoes and start anew. How embarrassing. Well, maybe she'll actually pick up the dancer class. Per moment. I'm pretty sure she doesn't actually show up in the dancing side quests or the whole learning dancing job quests or whatever. It'd be fun if she did though, kind of alongside you. Well, Komori has learned how to dance. And because of that, she is now a level 80 summoner. I actually did all of this off screen, or rather, in between the last episode and this one. I'm not sure why dancing gave Komori 10 levels, or approximately 10 levels in summoning, but we'll just pretend it did. What I really did was just do some duty roulette stuff, the basic things. All of the things here that I have unlocked, mainly main scenario and alliance, give the most stuff. And then it was between the weekly reset, a couple of days. Like it was 2 days ago, the weekly reset, or... The weekly reset was actually two day. And it was 2 days ago when I last stopped recording, so... That gave me just enough time to do a bunch of these... not these... challenges over here. Again. Both last week and this week for a huge boost in experience, as well as some dungeon experience from other challenges related to that, which I did last week, didn't do this week, didn't have to. Alongside the main scenario stuff, I give you huge experience. I think this one gives you the most. Alliance might give you more, depending on which main scenario quest you get. But the point is, I'm level 80 now. And Komoi doesn't have any new abilities or anything like that. Those you get from actual job quests and whatever. But what I do have is higher level gear, which is the more important thing than abilities or whatever. Maybe with extra abilities I could have defeated Nael deus Darnus at level 71 or so. But with these I can definitely beat him with just the abilities that I have. So now... Wait, not that. Come on out. A little ritual before we fight Nael. We'll show Garuda our harvest dance, since that's what we got in Gridania. How's that, Garuda? You like it? I know you do. And for Titan, even though what we learned was, I guess kind of from Pirates more fitting for Leviathan, this is what we got in Nymphs of Laminsa, so... How about it? It's more of a pirate dance. But I'm sure Titan likes it. Yeah? We're really pounding our feet into the earth. Yeah. Titan likes it. That's what Titan looks like when he likes the dancing. And now Ifrit. The ball dance. This one, I can't imagine why Ifrit would like it. Ifrit is some kind of god of fire and explosions and whatever. What a stately ball dance would do to please him, I'm not sure. But he's a Mai summon, so I say he likes it. Alright, get back out here, PP. We're off to fight Nael for real this time. And I guess we'll ride the airship one more time. I realize I spent most of this episode, actually almost the entire episode, just learning how to dance. Truly disrespectful towards Nael, this guy that was kicking our ass this entire time. But because of that, I don't feel any need to respect him. If we're going to spend the entire episode learning to dance and then kicking his ass in just 5 seconds, so be it. Komoi was never the type to respect her enemies, I don't think. And now that we're here, I could have just done this in the first place if I was going to teleport anyway. But since we were right next to the airship, I guess I wanted to take it. Not you. Here we go. Unrestricted. And join. Oh. Nael, I'm sorry to say, but this is going to be a cakewalk. We will show you the power of Komoi's Insolence. But first of all, a D right here for Darnus. This will come in handy later, because later there's going to be a field change when the field changes to look like Cartoneau, or was it? Yeah, Cartoneau. Alright. Just need to get it clear in my head exactly what I'm going to do. Even though I should be able to kill him quickly, there's going to be pretty much a short window of time when the dragons come out that we can kill him, so I still have to get a bunch of abilities in within that approximately 18-second window based on my timing from watching my own videos, it seems like the dragons come out regardless of whether Nael is casting Heaven's Fall or any other cast bar. The dragons are independent of his cast time. So for example, at 47%, two things happen. Nael casts Bahamut's Favor, which increases his attack, which has a cast bar, and at the same time the dragons appear. You might think that the dragons appearing are related to Bahamut's Favor. So if you could delay Bahamut's Favor by getting him to cast Heaven's Fall, and then attacking him, reducing his health below 47% then, that's how you could delay Bahamut's Favor and theoretically delay the dragons appearing. But, as I said, the dragons are independent of that, so the instant you bring him down to 47 or below 47%, the dragons will appear whatever he's casting, whether or not it's Heaven's Fall, Bahamut's Favor, whatever. So that's the only real thing that we have to worry about. The 18 seconds between his health dropping below 47% and the dragon casting the second ice ball, which is hard-coded to kill you. So for that, I need to have a very specific rotation in mind. First, I need to have Aether Charge ready so that all of my abilities are ready for these summons. I can't use Titan because Titan takes too long compared to the other two and doesn't have as much DPS. So the idea is not only to have Aether Charge ready, but also to have this Fester ready, or Energy Drain, so that I can cast Fester, and also Ruin 4. We begin with casting Garuda, or summoning Garuda. There is actually a time delay between when you click summoning Garuda and when Garuda actually deals damage, so we can use that to layer up a second attack before the damage actually registers, and Nael's health goes below 47%. It's actually a kind of pain point that you have to wait for the damage to come out whenever you summon one of these three, because the summon actually has to take time to walk over to the enemy and do the attack. But we can take advantage of it here to prevent going below 47% and start our own clock a little bit before Nael's clock starts. So first we start this with Garuda. We weave in a Fester, then a Ruin 4, and a second Fester. And then with Garuda out, we can start using 4 of these Emerald Ruins, or Rites or whatever. At that point, after the first Emerald Ruin, we cast another Energy Drain to get up Fester, 2 more of those, and another Ruin 4. That would be our, I believe, first Emerald Rite or Emerald Ruin. So then we cast a second Emerald Ruin, here again, a second or a first Fester, third Emerald Ruin, another Fester, then Emerald Ruin again, last time. At that point, we don't do a Ruin 4, but we instead summon Ifrit. And after that, we do a hard cast of the Emerald Ruin. We could do a swift cast of that, or rather, not Emerald Ruin, Ruby Ruin, that is. Ruby Ruin actually takes time to cast. It actually becomes Ruby Rite because I reached level 72. But this does have a cast time of 2.7 seconds and a recast time of approximately 3 seconds, compared to Emerald Rite, which is instant and has a 1.5 recast time. The reason we don't do an instant swift cast of the first Ruby Rite is because we saved a Ruin 4 to weave in there, so the order would become an instant cast of summoning Ifrit, a hard cast for approximately 3 seconds of Ruby Rite, and then an instant cast of Ruin 4, upon which we can do a swift cast weaved in to allow a instant cast of the second Ruby Rite. And my timing is such that that second cast, swift cast Ruby Rite, fits just within the 18-second window that we have before the second dragon kills us. That is my optimal rotation for what I have currently available to me, without doing job quests or whatever. But with the stats that I have, I didn't really need to do all of that calculation or whatever. It'll go down pretty quickly. Anyway. We can actually get him down so quickly we don't even have to worry about him casting Raven Speak or whatever in this first part. He didn't even cast the other thing. The meteor. I guess we can heal up a bit. Despite the increase to health, healing still pretty much does only about 2500. No real leveling up there. Get rid of this guy. And this guy. And now comes the actual meteor phase. We do have to worry about this a little bit because the damage is pretty significant if we stack them up. So we're just going to stack up 2. I was able to survive on level 71 with this method that I'm about to do. Moving now. And keep on moving. Put up a barrier. And start healing. This way with only 4 meteors out and 2 of them exploding, I would have been able to survive on level 71. But we're okay here. Alright, we want to keep the red one alive. Because the red one actually does pretty pitiful damage compared to the other two. The green one does some pretty heavy... Oops, I guess I killed it. Shit. Well, I guess I'll tank those other ones, these comets here, hopefully. The green one, Golem, does some tank busters and the blue one does some paralysis stuff. The red one is pretty easy to tank as a DPS, but it's unfortunate that I left up these meteors. I should be able to survive at level 80 though, with all this health. I was able to survive with the previous method by having that one golem absorb 3 of these things, but we can survive on just pure HP with level 80. So we stand on the D for Heaven's Fall. Start decreasing his health down to approximately level 40 or 47%. Probably don't need to worry about healing. Get rid of the Ghost of Mericidia. So here... Ah, wrong one. Oh, it's dead already. Okay. So here, Nael applies Garrote Twist, which increases stacks of Garrote pretty rapidly. And the thing you have to worry about that is if you get up to 9 stacks and you die. The things that the Ghost of Mericidia drops, heal that. Here comes the second Heaven's Fall, and I'll cast Fester now. And right around now is when I'll start my rotation. So begin with this. And we're in DPS now. We don't have the second Fester, but it should be fine. Just because I messed up my own DPS strategy. And there we go. Finally, dead. It wasn't even a real place. A hologram all along. I guess you could have known, just because the place is called the Holodecks. It turns out to kill Nael, all you had to do was disrespect her, completely and utterly. By becoming level 80 and doing so much damage, you don't see any mechanics. Speaking of mechanics, I actually tried for several times on level 71 to survive Nael's mechanics through several methods. That whole rotation that I laid out, that kind of try-hardy, fit in all the damage that you can thing, I actually tried that at level 71, and only got Nael down to around 18%. Don't think there was any way for me to increase my damage with like potions or food or whatever, to do that extra 18%, so there was no way for me to do it. I even tried to get Nael to enrage, by just waiting 13 minutes, upon which he starts casting Mega Flare over and over again. But that does about 60,000 damage per attack, and I could only survive one of those at level 71. Meaning, I could only survive 2 of those, and would you believe it, The cast time for Mega Flare, in between one cast and the other cast, is about 9 seconds, meaning it takes about 18 seconds for Mega Flare to kill me at level 71, which is the same exact amount of time it takes for one of the dragons to kill me. So it was either be killed by Mega Flare or be killed by the dragon in 18 seconds, so no way for me to avoid that hard 18-second window. I had to go to level 80 to win. Right. And I actually tried this already. I wanted to be absolutely sure that I could win at level 80, so I went ahead and cleared this trial once before. Which is why there's no cutscene saying after we clear this. We should be seeing one with Alice, but because I so foolishly decided to clear the entire thing before, or in my practice run, without realizing that the cutscenes don't play again, I don't get to see it now. The only way to see it is in the in-room. Fortunately, they do let you replay cutscenes like this. I guess I do at least get to capture this on camera, the feature of the unending codex or whatever it's called. That little book that sits in the in-room. Probably most people never use it, but it's for this exact reason that I can watch some cutscenes that I accidentally skipped or didn't record the first time around. So over here, second coil, beginning with, was it cutscene 2? No, that's just killing Nael. We just saw that. Pretty sure there would be nothing here extra. And here's what would have played after we hit the exit duty button. Poor creature, would that you had never been born. Damn, I'll say. You had surrendered your physical form and collapsed into ether, but Bahamut denied you your death, and imprisoned what little was left of you in an ethereal shell, resembling what, I wonder? Images from your memory, perhaps? But that shell is now broken, and your primal deity seems disinclined to sustain your existence. My primal deity? I kneel to no icon. What need have I to beg the favor of such filth? I am Nael van Darnus, legatus of the 7th Legion. No, a moment. My thoughts are clouded, and this body is not mine own. Could it be that you spoke the truth? Was I ensorcelled by the Lesser Moon's ancient prisoner? That will not happen again. You speak of as if Bahamut no longer controlled you. But that's impossible. Once a primal ensnares a mind, it cannot be freed. Unless Bahamut simply relinquished his claim. What need has he of a broken spirit, bound for the ethereal realm? Oh, that I should fall prey to the very influence I sought to purge from the land. The irony is galling. But do not assume that all of my actions were chosen for me. It was my will that the Meteor Project be resurrected, mine and none other. Yet it seems that my grand designs were destined to fail. Even the ungentle release of death was denied me. Nael, please, You must tell us more of the calamity. I must know the truth of what has befallen the world, and what has become of my grandfather, Archon Louisois. You are Louisois' grandchild? Ah, the fates are generous with their cruelty. Continue on, if you would have your answers. They await you at the terminus of your path. But know that this path leads only to despair. The light of truth was ever harsh and unforgiving. Why do you say this? Grandfather will be freed once we put a stop to Bahamut's restoration, will we not? What are you not telling us? Steel yourself, child. Only unbending resolve and merciless strength can conquer what lies ahead. Yep, we did need merciless strength to get this far. The weak can do naught but weep under the pall of their own misery, as did the frail child I once was. Damn, no respect, up until the last. Silence, chattering raven. Your wretched wings are broken, and you shall soar no more. My crimson moon, your brilliance sears mine eyes. You and that damn moon. I recognize that voice, Komoy, but he would never say such words. Come, let us finish what we came to do. All will be put aright when the final hulk lies dormant. Grandfather will be himself again. I'm sure of it. And then immediately following that, Bahamut regenerates more swiftly than I had anticipated. Let us hope that disabling this coil will serve to slow the process. I guess previously he was just a head and a neck, now he has a chest. The display seems different, but the controls appear to mimic the mechanism we found in the Lenosian Hulk. It shouldn't pose a problem. Komoy, forgive me. The moment I beheld Nael's transformation, hope wilted in my heart. I did not believe you could stand against the manifestation of Bahamut's power. No, you were right to have the hope wilt in your heart. After all, we had to leave like twice, 3 times even, before we were ready to face Nael again. So yeah, there was no chance we would have won under normal circumstances, or even extreme circumstances. For all your fabled strength and skill, I felt certain then that I was going to lose you, just as I lost my grandfather. Even he, a man for whom naught seemed impossible, was humbled before Bahamut's might. And yet, look how far we have come. 'Tis incredible the feats of which we are capable, our boundless potential. 'Twas this capacity for greatness, I believe, that grandfather so dearly wished to protect. With all that has occurred, I have come to understand that much at least. 'Tis done. Shall we make our way back to the surface and gather our thoughts? We have seen much that will benefit from Oriander's learned perspective. Damn, no respect. None in this episode. Just walk up to her and blast her. Didn't even kill her. Grandfather, it is you. Then why? Felt like he just blasted her to be rude. Abandon this quest, LSA. I will not countenance further sabotage of the coils. Sabotage? But we must disable the coils if we are to prevent Bahamut's revival. Your defiance seals your fate. No. No, you are not who I thought you were. My grandfather would never. Foolish girl. How could the White Raven allow herself to be bested by such sniveling opponents? Listen well. We all exist at the pleasure of one divine will. And the word of Lord Bahamut, is absolute. Scurry back to your holes, vermin. You have been granted this one reprieve. But should you be so foolish as to crawl into my lord's domain again, I will crush the life from you myself. That light in grandfather's eyes. He has suffered the same fate as Nael. Surely you saw it coming. My grandsire is no more. That was naught but a phantom that profanes his noble memory. This mockery must be expunged. I will not rest until I free grandfather's soul from Bahamut's tyranny. Do you hear me, Bahamut? Your time is at an end. Eorzea and my family will be avenged. And the only thing we would have missed out on would have been, just like the first coil, the ability to walk around that little internment hulk, where LSA was fiddling with the controls. I guess there's no way to really go back there after your first time clearing it. A little bit of a shame, but it would just look the same pretty much as the first internment hulk that we went to. Right. So after that cutscene, you could walk around the internment hulk, and then you could leave to a little glowy teleportation point, like you could the first internment hulk. And just like that first time, it would have teleported you without any real cutscene, this time, just over here to Northern Danalan, to a bunch of the corrupted crystals. Right here. And this is where the practice run left me, after I accidentally killed him, Nael, in the practice run. So now I'm finally ready to continue the quest. I realize I probably could end the episode, but kind of want to wrap up the whole Nael Deus Darnus saga for good by wrapping up the second coil questline. We won't accept the third coil questline, but this should be the end quest for that, I think. Truly, it is wonderful to escape that stifling air and return to Northern Danalan again, it would appear. I must thank you, Komoy. Were it not for your bravery, I strongly doubt that I would be standing here now. But you need not tarry on my account. The danger has passed. Pray go on ahead, and appraise Oriander of all that has occurred. I will join you anon. My thoughts are yet unruly, and I would rest here for a while. Pray return to the waking sands, and report our success to Oriander. I shall follow in due course. Is that a new white mage? I'm pretty sure that Moogle staff is a white mage staff. Probably not a black mage staff, or it could be. Oriander, we're done. Not with the entire quest line, but I'm pretty sure it'll be smooth sailing from here on out. You'll be glad to hear. The triumphant hero doth return. Thine eyes speak of the dread task completion. The second coil now lies dormant. Yet I sense the tidings thou bearest are not altogether glad. Pray tell me, what ill has cast the shadow which falleth now across thy brow? An old foe and an old friend. So 'twas but the ethereal shadow of Master Louis Soir that Lady Alice beheld, an unnatural conjuration in thrall to the elder primal. That the fiend should deign to choose him of all men, even in full knowledge of the shade's true nature, I would be hard-pressed to weather such a confrontation. Yet what agonies must the young mistress have endured? Such torment did she ne'er deserve. Mayhap, 'twere better if Lady Alice did absent herself from future forays into the coils. I have come too far to surrender to grief, Oriander. My lady, I am resolved to defeat these fiends, and naught shall sway me from my path. Now let us peer more deeply into the well of our discoveries. As you wish, my lady. By your leave, I would speak first of the coil's late guardian, Nael van Darnus. Van Darnus was a legatus of the Garlean Empire who strove to bring about Eorzea's final destruction, only to fall even as the sixth sun did set, referring to the sixth astral era. If thou hast heard tales of the White Raven, then it is he of whom they speak. Aye, he, I say, for Nael was... Wait, what? For Nael was for a certainty no maid. The noble house of Van Darnus, as we discovered all too late, had long safeguarded the wisdom of ancient Alec. 'Twas thus that the legatus came to learn the true nature of Dalamud, and to seek to employ the Red Moon as a weapon against Eorzea. But the Crystal Tower, and the mechanisms required to command the satellite, yet lay hidden beneath the ground, compelling Nael to construct a far less subtle mechanism. And in his first faltering attempts to communicate with Dalamud, he did likely rouse the satellite's slumbering prisoner. Thenceforth did the White Raven's soul belong to Bahamut. He was fortunate indeed to acquire so powerful a thrall by chance. 'Tis little wonder he was so loath to part with him. Why let a simple thing, like death, deprive one so useful a pawn? Though we may accuse him of bungling Van Darnus's resurrection, I dare say Bahamut was as content to have a handmaiden as a manservant. A handmaiden as a manservant. I only hope that the two thralls we encountered were the extent of this flock. Yet I cannot help but dwell on Nael's words, those beloved children of whom he spoke. I assumed at first that he referred to the moon's beastly guardians, but should Bahamut have enslaved other mortals, we must needs remove this source of worship. Otherwise our efforts to disable the coils shall be for naught. Forgive me mine indelicacy, my lady. Thou art wise indeed to speak of expunging the primal straws. But canst thou truly pursue a course which would cost thee thine own grandsire? My heart and mind are as one on this matter. Grandfather's salvation can be won but by a single method, the destruction of Bahamut, and aught that might serve to sustain him. Komoy, while Urianger and I endeavor to ascertain the existence of any further thralls, I suggest you grant yourself a moment's respite. Rest assured that I will contact you the moment I have need of your inimitable talents. That we have achieved so much I owe to you, I fear. I fear, however, that our trials have barely begun. I don't know, I think it's smooth sailing from here. Though time has dulled the pain of thy passing, I find that I am wounded afresh. Master Louis Soir, what good shall come of this unending search for knowledge and truth? Long have I believed the pursuit of such treasures to be the duty of every true Charlian. Yet when each new revelation serves only to heap further anguish upon those whom we would fain protect, must we truly reach for more? So you have found your resolve, dear sister? Will you now find a use for the secret, for the key that only you and I hold? Given our familial propensity for curiosity, you would do well to remember that keys may serve to seal doors, as well as to unlock them, and Bahamut is a most unwelcome guest, to whom the door should never have been opened. What are you doing here? Hey, where'd he go? He was standing right here, wasn't he? The screen faded out. He must have hiked it right outside of the door while our backs were turned, I guess. Anyway, that line they were saying. I dare say Bahamut was as content to have a handmaiden as a manservant. I guess they don't actually know that Nael Van Darnus's actual sister replaced him, and that the Nael, quote-unquote, that you fought throughout the entirety of 1.0 and beyond was actually his sister. Maybe they have no way of knowing that, so they're just kind of confused by seeing Nael in the form of a woman, even though that's his sister, who I learned was, I think, Eula Van Darnus. She replaced him long before the events of 1.0, and I think it was her entire quest to, well, bring down Dalamud. That wasn't Nael's quest. I'm not sure when that fact is revealed to the player in 1.0, so maybe it's never revealed to Alice and Urianger, so they have no idea. And when Urianger says, I say, for Nael was for a certainty no maid, he's referring to the actual Nael, who was killed like long ago, and he only knows of Nael through like historical records, and I think Urianger was in 1.0, so he may have had some dealings with Nael, but maybe didn't find out that Nael was actually Eula. But whatever. Just kind of weird quest stuff that I guess the player would have no reason or no way of knowing, other than looking it up themselves, all of that 1.0 history, compounded by all of this dialogue that further confuses it for a player that only played 2.0, that has no way of knowing why Nael shows up as a woman here, shows up as Eula. But that's neither here nor there. I guess if there are any confused players out there, they'll get over it. And I can say that I have finally gotten over what would be my biggest pain point in A Realm Reborn, and maybe the entirety of Final Fantasy, though there might be some other contenders later on. That being Nael Deus Darnus. This could have been trivial if I just did some kind of party finder stuff or got at least one other player to do it unsynced with me, but this was the big ding for me that I knew would be completely impassable unless I poured tons and tons of experience into one class, and I decided to do that with Sumner, without realizing that its healing ability was pretty pitiful. But I guess it all worked out, one way or another. Just had to get it up to level 80. But thanks to those efforts, all of these levels will make the rest of the coils, or the last coil, a true cakewalk. I actually kind of wanted to take them on around level 71, just so that, like the previous coils, all of those challenges, well, all of those turns would prove to be at least a little bit of a challenge to work around some of their mechanics or something. But at level 80, I should be able to delete the bosses pretty quickly. I look forward to it, I guess. Before we go and speedrun the final coils of Bahamut, now would be a good time to take a break.